So let us move on. Let us move on. So we continue with our financial management class. So whatever you're doing, we're not going to wait for anyone. We are going to start immediately because time is also not on our side. So we are just going to start immediately. So financial management, we are continuing. So hypothesis. Hypothesis. So hypothesis, what we are going to do it today. So hypothesis. So hypothesis is our focus today. So hypothesis is our focus today. So I think we shall go directly to the notes. Mute tafadhali. Una mute. Once you join, you just mute tafadhali. So we shall talk about so the only one which is applicable to you, the dividend is so you can call it. It is called. So it is also called. It is also called dividend. Dividend relevance theory. This is also called dividend relevant theory. We can also call it the dividend relevant theory. So it was developed by Modigliani and Miller. That was not important. Now it states that the company dividend policy, it states that company dividend policy does not affect the value of the firm. The value of the firm. So that is what the theory states. So the theory states that the payment of dividends by the company. So whether the company pay dividend or not, the value of the same will not be affected. This means whether the firms pay dividend, whether the company pay dividend or not, whether the company pays dividends or not, the value of the firm will be the same. The value of the firm will be same. The value of the firm will be the same. The value of the firm will be the same. Assumptions. What are the assumptions? Assumptions of this model. This is hypothesis. Assumption number one, it assumes that there is no transaction cost. it assumes that there are no transaction costs. That's the first assumption, that it assumes that there are no transaction costs. Okay, we can say transaction cost associated with flotation of stock. Now, meaning when selling your shares to the public, when the company is selling their shares to the public, it means that there are no transaction costs associated with those shares. So we call them the flotation of stock. Number two, no corporate and personal tax. It assumes that we do not have no corporate and personal taxes. So it assumes that we do not have corporate and personal taxes. Okay. Yes. And then the company, we can see the company investment policy. The company investment policy is independent of the dividend policy. Policy. So the company investment policy is independent of the dividend policy. And then no uncertainty. So it assumes that there is no uncertainty in the market. No uncertainty. And then and then the capital market is assumed to be efficient. Capital market is assumed to be efficient. The capital market is assumed to be efficient. So the capital market is assumed to be efficient. I think it goes out. So the capital market is assumed to be efficient. So the capital market is assumed to be efficient. So the capital market is assumed to be efficient. Now, I think now we can look for something here. Now, the following variables are used. The following variables are used in this model. So what are those variables? Let us see. What are some of those variables first? Number one, D1, and we call it dividend per share. Dividend per share. At the end of year one. At the end of year one. Dividend per share at the end of year one. Or look at them expected dividend or expected dividends. Number two.
Mpaka nikikuja huku naona
ukikuja huku unafanya yes. Current market price, MPS, we call them the market price. P on current market price, P1 P1 expected market price at the end of year one. At the end of year one. P1 minus PO capital gain. Capital gain or the benefit you realize. So this is the capital gain is the benefit gained from that security. And then total return equals to dividend income plus the capital gain which is the same as saying D1 plus into bracket P1 minus PO, which is the same as saying D1 plus P1 minus PO. That's the total return. That is the total return. Percentage. Let's talk about the percentage of total return. Percentage of the total return. Percentage of the total return is equals to D1 plus P1 minus PO over PO times 100. That is the percentage. That is the percentage of the total return. 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 Okay. We can do another thing. So we can say that return. We can say now that that our return is the same as D1. So this return, which is in percentage, P1 minus PO over PO times 100. So that's what we can say about that amount, about that information, or about that information. Now, we can also, I'm going to take a return in small r. Let us use a small r. This return r, remember it's in percentage, this return r, let us put it in that r. So you can say PO times r, it will be times r times PO is equals to D1 plus P1 minus PO is 100. That all correct? Query. Or you can just put this format. R or R PO D1 plus P1 minus PO. But now your R, this R, it is in percentage. Now this R is in percentage. So kumbuke R, it is in percentage. So equal become like same as 0.01 R. So to that 100. So I just want to show you something. Now we can correct the data together. R PO plus PO, which is ideal, is equals to D1 plus P1. Now we have the right term, so to do R engine. So kumbuka R, you have either 100. This R is in form of percentage. So kumbuka it is in form of percentage to do 100. So the R is in R percentage. R percentage, meaning ni 0.01 R. So this R, remember, it is R percentage. So let us remove R. Tutoe PO from this ndani. Tukitoa PO tutakuwa na R plus 1. R plus 1 is equals to D1 plus P1. Now kumaanisha our PO, which is our market price. Remember, our PO is our market price. Remember, PO, theoretical value. Theoretical value. Remember the theoretical value? Our theoretical value is the market price is equals to D1 plus P1 over R plus 1. So this is the model we shall be using also to calculate PO. Can we create a dividend model? But that one is a model. Now that one, this is the final one. So PO is equal to D1 plus P1 over R plus 1. Also, we are doing CIFA. Wanaweza kuwa familiarized with this kind of an equation. Those mwenye anafanya CIFA, but I don't think there's anyone. But you can be, so those who are doing CIFA are very familiarized with that kind of an equation. So that's an equation that we shall use to calculate the theoretical value in that case. But we shall not use it that much. It is not of that important to us, but it is important for this theory, hypothesis. It is important in this part of the hypothesis. I think that one is okay. So let us give other models. Let's talk about other models. We talk about other models. So this one is what we call the one period discounting rate, the one period DDM. One period DDM. So we call them. So this one is called so tunasema PO, which is equals to D1 plus P1 over 1 plus R, or R plus 1. It is called one period DDM. One period DDM. DDM means dividend discounted model. So DDM means dividend discounted model. So it's the same as the DCF. Remember the DCF? Remember the DCF? So it uses the same analogy. DCF need the discounted cash flow method. DCF, discounted cash flow method. So this discounted cash flow method in our kama hii. So you discount so this one deals with cash flows, which dividends is one of them. Now this one deals with purely dividends. So when the DDM applies the same item as DCF. So kama tulikuwa tumefanya the previous question nimekuwa tukifanya, they are mostly the DDM model. Ukianza maswali tulikuwa tukifanya, you are discounting dividend in different period using for example dividend ya 1 plus G blah blah blah, tunaenda another 1 plus G. So this one tulifanya the other class. That's a good example of a DDM. So DDM is just part of the DCF inside. So this model is what we have been doing the other day. This model is what we have been doing the other day. And if you could go to your questions, utaangalia that in some period we were discounting the dividend itself. Ukienda. And then from maybe 3 to perpetuity, we were discounting the PO. And remember the PO, this figure here, imeandikwa P1. So P1 ndio hiyo ilikuwa nachukua dividend 1 plus G over KE minus G. It is part of the price P1. So but hakuna cha tuongelee sana. It's the same thing actually. Ni formula inakaa tofauti. But that one is okay. So I was not interested with that one. I was not interested with that one. But if you need a question, in a session question, I can give it to you. But for now, I want us to continue. Let us continue. Let us continue with our formulas. So tulikuwa tumefika hapa. Tukasema PO is equal to D1 plus P1 over R plus 1. Now let us talk about new capital gain realized. 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 So tutasema MP1 is equals to I minus X minus ND1. Haya. So kumaanisha MP1 is equals to I minus X plus ND1. When we open the bracket, if you open the bracket. Now NPO, daambia hizi zinamaanisha nini? Just be patient enough. Tuandike zote. N plus M minus I plus X over 1 plus R. But M is given by, for you to get M is equals to MP1 over P1. And let me give you now the notations. Zinamaanisha nini? Let me give you the notations. Zinamaanisha nini? Let me give you the notation. Then I tell you what it means. So kumbuka sisi tulisema tunaanzia hapa. So niwaambia that's a one dividend model. So tunasema tunaanzia hapa. Hapa ndo tulimalizia PO. So our index is the PO. Haya. So NPO means value of the company. So we can say, let me check vizuri. So NPO, yes, value of the company. So value of the company. Value of the company. So that's the NPO. NPO means value of the company. R means return. You get to be a small r or big R. So R means return. R means return. R means return. And then R kadogo means cost of capital. Cost of capital, ama you can call it required rate of return. Required rate of return. N number of shares. N current number of shares. Current number of shares. Then M, new number of shares. M, new number of shares. Then I in investment. investment required investment required ama initial capital x in expected profit, x expected profits, x expected profits at the end of year one, at the end of year one, MP1 in the new capital to be raised. New capital to be raised. New capital to be raised. Then ND1 means total dividend at the end of year one. Total dividend at the end of year one. So total dividend at the end of year one, ndio hiyo. So I want us to open our past paper. Haya, nani huyo mwenye hajamute? Cynthia. So let us open our past paper. This question appears only once in our past paper. So it will only appear once. So naifanyia side hii ingine. The other side hapa. So I hope itatoshea. We shall compress the question there. So let us open our past paper. Let me tell you it was tested in which year. Let me show you. It was tested in which year? Let me tell you just now. Hey, Cynthia jameni. You're not muting bwana. Cynthia.
Sorry.
So let us open our past paper and we go to this sitting of it's the only question which appears in our past paper actually. If you want more question concerning that one, you can go to advanced level. That question iko wapi? Yes, nimepata. No, sio hiyo. Yes. April 2023 question 3B. April 2023. April 2023 question number 3B. So someone tusome April 2023 question number 3B. So someone tusome April 2023 question number 3B. So April 2023 question number 3B. Another tusomea. April 2023 question number 3B. Aya, I'm waiting for someone to read for us. Hakuna. Wanjara, Lilian, what are you are sharing the screen, bwana? Jameni. Bana mwache hizo bwana. Tunataka tusomea. No one is reading anyway, ni sawa. So let me just read it. So April 2023, question number 3B. Umi Limited is contemplating to issue, sorry, not that one, question number 3B. Bright Moon Ltd currently owns 1,000 shares. So currently owns 1,000 shares. So the current shares is 100,000. Itakuwa nikiandika hapo. So currently owns 100,000 shares with a market price of 10 shillings. So their market price is 10 shillings. So their market price is 10 shillings. So itakuwa ni P1, I think. P1. So I think P1 is the 10 shillings. To confirm. Let us say P1, 10 shillings. Yeah. The farm has 1 million earning after tax dividends. So 1 million earnings after tax. So that is profits. Now their profit is 1 million. And intends to invest 2 million during the year 2023. The farm also is considering a dividend of 5 at the end of year. The operating cost is 10%. Required number one, the price per share at the end, assuming dividend is not declared. Assuming dividend is not declared. No. So PO is equal to D1 plus P1 over 1 plus R. So wanasema we determine the value assuming that the dividend is not paid. Assuming that the dividend is not paid. Now, PO is the, sorry, P1 is the current value. Stereo. Then P1 is the value at the end. Value at the end. Value at the end. Now, hii swali yetu wanatuambia Byte Limited currently owns 10,000 shares, currently outstanding 100,000 shares with the market price of 10. So the current market price is 10, but the value at the end hapa hatujui. So wametuambia we calculate the P1. So tunajua PO 10 is equals to, so the price of the share assuming dividend is not declared, meaning dividend is not paid. So they are not paying any dividend. It is 0. So we need the P1, we don't know the P1 over 1 plus R. Now our R is the cost of capital. Now R is the cost of capital, which is 10%. So 10%, we say R equal percentage, so it is 0.1. So find the P1. So P1 will be equal to 10 to bracket 1 plus 0.1. So find the value of P1. P1. Hiyo calculator nilitupa wapi? So P1 ni ngapi? So P1 itakuwa ni 10 into bracket 1 plus 0.1. Kenya shillings 11. So the value at the end is Kenya shillings 11 per share. That is number 1. Hiyo tumemaliza hivyo. Number B. So number B wanatuambia the price per share at the end, assuming they pay dividend. So how much dividend? They were trying to pay 5. This is part A. Part B. Now we know that PO is equal to D1, P1 1 plus R. Now assume now they are paying a dividend of 5. Because according to the question, the dividend paid pale juu kwa swali ametuambia ni 5 shillings per share. Now, if no dividend, remember, let me tell you, when the dividend is not declared, the dividend is 0. When the dividend is not declared, the dividend is 0. So part A, we calculate the P1 in the case where no dividend was declared, meaning dividend is 0. So in this case, the dividend is 0. Meaning no dividend was declared. But in part B, well, we assume now they declare that dividend. The dividend is 5. So PO, we know it is 10. D1 is 5 plus P1 over 1 plus 0.1. Find P1. Now P1 will be equal to 10, 1 plus 0.1 minus 5. So what will be the value of P1? Minus 5. So itakuwa ni 10, 1 plus 0.1 minus 5. So Kenya shillings 6. So Kenya shillings 6. Kenya shillings 6. Number 2, the number of the new shares in B1 and B2 above. The number of shares. So the number of shares in B1 and B2 above the number of shares in B2 and B1 above. Now, remember, for you to get the new, so in B1 and B2. So we have this one. M is equal to MP1 over P1. M is equal to MP1 over 1. What is M? M is a new number of shares. Now, M is a new number of shares. M is a new number of shares. So calculate your kwanza. So we have the other one. This one tuko nayo. The existing tuko nayo as 100,000. So let's see. So M is equal to M P1 over P1. So you find the MP1. MP1 is equal to, now our MP1 ndio hii tutatumia hii ya pili. We use this one. Tutatumia ya pili. Tutasemaje? Tutasema hivi. Tutasema hii ni investment. So from the question, what's our investment? Let's go back to our question. Now investment, so the firm has 1 million earning after tax with an investment of 2 million. So we have an investment of 2 million. I will less X our profit, the hapa. So expected profit wametuambia pale. The firm has 1 million earnings after tax, which is 1 million. 1 million. 1 million. And then ND1. ND1, total dividend to be paid. ND1 is the total dividend to be paid. So what is the total dividend to be paid? Total dividends to be paid. Total dividends to be paid. Tukienda pale kwa swali tunaona the dividend is 5. So we are supposed to add total dividends. Itakuwa ni 5 times the number of shares, which is 100,000. That is the total dividend. So dividend per share times the total number of shares. Ama tungefanya hivi ndio ikuwe rahisi. Let us assume the first one. Wamesema with A and B. The first one is when we no dividend payments. No payment of dividends. The first one. Because rahisi ya pili ni payment. There is a payment of dividend. Payment of dividends. Now, ukitumia hiyo, so let's do the first one kwanza. No payment of dividend. Weke dividend is 0 kwanza hapa. So it wasn't as now MP1 when we are not paying any dividends. So MP1 when we are not paying any dividends. So MP1 when we are not paying any dividends. So unapata ngapi? So MP1 when we are not paying any dividends. So itakuwa 2 million minus 1 million plus 0. This will be equal to 1 million Kenya shillings. Aya. I hope itatoshea hapa. Kama itakubali. Now let's see. Okay, naona kuna karatasi hapa. So M itakuwa ni MP1 which is 1 million over P1. What's our P1 in that case? P1 is 11 shillings. P1 is 11 shillings. Nakuja ngapi? P1 is 11 shillings. So 1 million itakuwa ni 90,000 909.09091 shares. So that's the number of shares. So alikuwa anatuambia part A, part C, actually not part A, part C, that we determine what the new number of shares in B1 and B2 above. So B1 ni hii, no payment of dividend. Let's go to B2 where now we are paying dividend. So let's go to part 2, in the case where now we are paying dividends. In the case where we are paying dividends. So itakuwa ngapi? Yes. In the case where we are paying dividends, itakuwa hivi, MP1 will be equal to 2 million minus 1 million plus, now the dividend need, that we are paying a dividend of how much? 5. So 5 times 100,000. So calculate MP1. Calculate MP1. Calculate MP1. Now, number of shares, if the dividend is paid, total amount. Hakuna mwenye anapata. So 2 million minus 1 million plus 5 times 100,000. So this is equal to 1,500,000. Haya. Number of shares itakuwa ni 1,500 over the P1 for number 2. Wanalipa ngapi? 6 shillings. So divided by 6. So divided by 6 to 50,000 shares. Now let's ongeze part 5. So this one was part A. Let's just put say part 1, part 2. This one is part 3. Wacha niongeze part 4. Part 4. Niwaambie calculate. Au kwa muuliza, but let me just give value of farm under option 1 and 2. So we calculate the value of share under option 1 and also under option 2. Now this is how we calculate the value of the farm. The value of the farm is given by NPO. The value of the farm is given by NPO. NPO, which is equals to J P1. So it wasn't option 1. That wasn't option 1. So option 1 day hapa. P1 ni 11. Haya. And ndio hii hapa, the current number of shares which is 100,000. So unachukua venye iko kwa tupate kwa swali current number of shares. Then we check the new number of shares under P1. Under P1 the number of shares is 900.09. Kwa nafanya ngapi hiyo? Kama sioni vizuri. 1 million 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 909.9091.09091. Oh, 091 shares. So 09091 shares. Then we open the bracket, we list the investment. Our investment tunajua ni ngapi? Investment yetu ndio hii hapa, 2 million. 2 million. Kutoka kwa laini mniambie 2 million. Aya, 2 million, and then we add our profit, which was our profit ndio hiyo 1 million. 1 million. I think hapo iko sawa kabisa. Hapo. Haya, then we are supposed to divide it by kila kitu 1 plus R is 0.1. So let's find the NPO, which is the value of the firm. We repeat the same for option 2. So this is for option 1, let's do for option 2. NPO will be equal to, now option 2 ndio hii. Our P1 is 6 shillings. Tunaweka 6 into bracket. The new number of shares kama kawaida, the original one is 100,000. The new one, if we take dividend, the new one, ndio hii hapa juu, to 50,000. To 50,000 minus the investment the same, profit the same, 100,000, then divided by 1 plus 0.1. Then we shall get the NPO also. Now, what does this model state? MM hypothesis? Because this question is about MM hypothesis. Now let me ask Lillian. Lillian, what does it model state? Lillian, tumesema tukianza pale juu. What does it model state? Ina state nini? Ama Linet? Kwa tumesema aje hiyo model ina state aje? Tukianza.
The model states that the company's dividend policy does not affect the value of the firm.
Now, okay. Well, now what do we expect for NPO1 and NPO2? Should it be the same or should it not be the same? According to what you have just said, do you think they should be the same? So this value, the value of the firm, if you pay dividend, and the value of the firm if you don't pay dividend, should they be the same? Or not
Yeah,
the
to me,
same?
I think they should be the same because the dividend policy does not affect the value of the firm.
Yes. Now, compute mniambie kama mnapata the same figure hapa na hapa. So hii mia chini napata Kenya shillings. The value of the firm is Kenya shillings 11 million. I hope pia this one utapata the same figure of 11 million. So the payment of dividend does not affect the value of the firm. So can you juu mnapata the same item? Ama mimi napata vitu zangu, bora ni compute again. So nasema hata ni compute ya pili 6 into bracket 100,000 plus 250,000 minus 2 million plus 1 million divided by 1.1. So mimi napata 1 million. Oh, this is supposed to be 1 million. So ya juu mnapata 1 million. So ya juu pia inafaa ikuwe 1 million. So are you getting 1 million? So tunasema 100,000 plus 900 point 0991 09 90, 09, 09, sorry, 09091 times 11 minus 2 million plus 1 million. Nimepotea watu wangu bwana. Mnanisikia? Nimepotea. So, mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
Yeah, mmepata the same figure. Sioni kama hiyo imezima tu.
1 million.
1 million ama kitu kama 999.9999 is also the same.
Yeah.
So I think that one will mark the end of our class today. So that's all about the MM hypothesis. That's all about the MM hypothesis. If you want more questions concerning that one, you can look for advanced questions in advanced level. But the same concept, same setting, therapy is the same. So I think that one marks the end of our class. We meet tomorrow. We continue now. We shall start from economic value added and the market value added. So that is for tomorrow. Economic value added, now the market value added. Economic value added, now the market value added. Tuko sawa? Up to that point. Anyway, let us meet tomorrow now.